Welcome back to another theatre vlog. Today I'm in Manchester. I just got here, I just took the tram, which was very exciting. I don't think I've ever taken the tram in Manchester, but it was really fun. And I don't know if you can tell, but we're under an umbrella because it's raining. Yay, April in England. It is so warm and sunny. Yeah, I'm just walking from the tram stop to the theatre, and I thought I'd say hello, quickly check in before I get to the theatre. I'm super excited. I'm going to see Spring Awakening today. I've never seen a proper production of this show. I saw an Amdram one like years and years and years ago. I can't really remember much of the story, if I'm honest, but I'm super excited. My friend Amy came to see this show yesterday and adored it, so I'm just trying to not get run over by either a tram or a car. I'd like to live. Yeah, she came and saw it yesterday and adored it, so I am so excited. I'm really excited to be back at the Hope Mill. I think I'm almost there. I definitely recognise this walk from the last time, so very excited. Theatre, safe and sound. It wasn't far from the tram stop. I don't know how I could have been injured in that time, and I've just tucked myself away in the corner of the bar because I'm going to try and get some editing done. That's my setup right now. Got a massive coffee. I'm very excited. Picked up a programme as well. I've just lost all of my hair bubbles on the floor. I've let my hair fly free. With Spring Awakening, they're letting people in groups. It's not allocated seating, but I knew for this show they're letting people in 3 groups. So that's another reason why I wanted to be here early, because I wanted to make sure that I was in like the best group to try and get the best possible seating arrangement. But it's nice to just like relax and not have to worry about being late. It's currently 1:20, so an hour until the show. Eat my sandwich, do some editing, and then go in, and I'm really excited. And the staff here are so lovely. I remember this from the last time I was here, but yeah, they're just lovely, and I really enjoy this theatre. It makes me happy.
Mama, the angels who made me so sad. Mama, who gave me. Mama, the angels who waves their hands on things, who made me so bad. Mama, the weeping. Mama, the angels don't sleep in heaven. Oh, touch me.
welcome back to the chatty section of the vlog. As you saw, I went to the Hope Mill Theatre in Manchester and I went to see their production of Spring Awakening. And can we just talk about this programme for a second, because it's gorgeous. It's so nice. It's really well made. It's got beautiful production photography in it, so these amazing portraits of the cast, and it was only like £3.50. So can like all of the big shows take note and realise that the amount they charge for their programmes that are full of ads is just ridiculous. I'm pretty sure this has no adverts in. I could be wrong. There might be one or two. This is a well-produced programme at a really low cost, so obviously it's possible. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, programme rant over. I went to the Hope Mill Theatre last September to see their production of Pippin, and that was my first time visiting the Hope Mill Theatre. And after visiting then, I knew that I definitely wanted to try and see some more shows there because it's such a nice little theatre. It's definitely a bit off the beaten path in Manchester, but it's worth making the trek to go out there if you're local to Manchester, or if you're like me and you live in London, it's definitely worth making the effort to go up there to see the shows that they're putting on, because they are putting out some pretty good stuff. Quite a few shows in the last year or so have ended up transferring down to London, so it's nice to kind of have that little bragging right, being like, well, I saw it in Manchester, so... I'm really glad that I managed to find the time and money to get up to Manchester to see their production of Spring Awakening. It's not a show that I really know. I saw a amateur production of it years ago. To be honest, I couldn't really remember a huge amount about that production apart from the Mama Who Bore Me song, so I was excited to see a full proper production of this show and yeah, see what it was all about, because I know a lot of people love this show and I always want to know why and what it's about. Something I really love about the Hope Mill Theatre is how nice everyone is there. It's obviously quite a small team, but it just feels really kind of like homey as soon as you get there, and I just really like that. It's one of the biggest positives I think about small fringe theatres. It just feels very friendly from the get-go, and especially when I'm going to see shows on my own, it's always nice when the people that are there are being really nice, because then it makes me feel not alone. It doesn't really bother me as much going to see things on my own or travelling out of London on my own to see things, but I know for some people that would make them quite nervous. So to have that welcoming atmosphere from the get-go, that's such a nice thing. Something that absolutely blows me away about the Hope Mill Theatre is that you really forget that you're in a small little fringe venue in Manchester when you see like the production quality that's happening, especially for something like this production of Spring Awakening, where I just kept forgetting. I was like, no way is this a tiny little venue. It just, the style of everything and the quality of it didn't look cheap at all, but I'm presuming they didn't have the biggest budget because, you know, it's not a huge venue. It's not bringing in like thousands and thousands of people every day. So the budget couldn't have been massive, but they've just been so clever with how it's all done, and it looks incredible. Walking into the theatre space, I was so impressed with how everything looked, because as I say, it looked legit. It did not look cheap. It looked amazing. And it was very atmospheric from the get-go as well. I feel like even though I didn't know a huge amount about what was going to happen in the story, I got the vibes initially going in as it was, just from the lighting and the sort of the colour palette of the entire set. And I realise that sounds a little bit wanky, but that's what I thought. I think this is possibly some of the best lighting that I've seen in a show as well. They had these window panes at the back of the set, and the light coming through them, even though obviously it was lighting, it looked so natural, it looked so real, and I couldn't get over that. It looked amazing. And then the lighting throughout the show as well. I said this a lot in my Pippin vlog when I saw Pippin at the Hope Mill Theatre as well. the lighting here in this small space was something that really blew me away, and it was nice to see that carrying through again in terms of just how well they could do it in such a tiny space and how powerful it was, especially for this show. Had a lot of very powerful moments in terms of high energy and quiet energy as well, so for the lighting to complement that perfectly, it just blew me away. Talking of the lighting, oh my god, something I was obsessed with. They had these lots of frames with like butterflies and I think different bugs as well, and they had their own little lights in the top of the frame. So at some points in various songs, the frames would like light up in sort of sync with the songs. Oh my god, it was to die for. It looked amazing. The story of Spring Awakening is a bit of a weird one. It's based on a play written, I think, in the late 1800s. It's set in Germany and it's about these teenagers who are discovering themselves. They're discovering like their sexuality and sex and, you know, general teenager things, but because of the time period, they are not really allowed to openly explore that. The show has some pretty tragic storylines relating to a few things like this, but what fascinated me a lot about the story, while I didn't completely love the story of the show, I thought it was incredible and also really sad that so many of the topics in the show are really relevant to the same day, like right now, when this story was written so many years ago. The fact that people still struggle with their sexuality and being open with it, or they struggle with, you know, being good enough for their parents and things like that. It's just very real issues, and it's amazing, but as I say, sad to think that this was written so long ago. It feels so modern as well. I think that's really fascinating about this show as well, actually, because of that. It's such an old tale, but feels so fresh still, and it really affects the way that the show is put on as well, because there were many old aspects to this show in terms of design choices, but at the same time the music feels really modern at points. It's like a clash of timelines, and it somehow works so well. I thought the cast for this show was so strong, and it was really nice actually and refreshing to not know anyone who was in the cast. I feel like sometimes when this happens, it makes you believe the characters even more, because you don't know that person as a person, as like a performer, so you just see them as the character they are portraying. What's really lovely to see in a cast like this is a lot of professional debuts. I think that's a really heartwarming thing to see at the Hope Mill Theatre, especially because this is, I think, such an amazing opportunity for people to start out at the Hope Mill Theatre, because this theatre is on the up and up, and I feel like that's going to put them in good stead for, like, you know, getting future jobs. And as well, on the line of heartwarming, I wanted to focus just a little bit on one of the cast members who really blew me away in this show, and that was Beth Hinton-Lever. She was playing the role of Thea, and I feel like I'm treading on eggshells talking about this topic, because I really don't want to say anything that would unintentionally offend anyone, because everything I'm about to say, it's coming from a good place in my heart, and if I offend anyone, then I am so sorry. But Beth is disabled, and she still did such an amazing job in this show. What amazed me about her was that her disability did not hold her back in any way. You know, she was perfect for the role, obviously, and that's why they've cast her. But also they didn't need to cast someone like Beth, you know? They could have easily cast someone who's not disabled, but the fact that they have done that, it really gives me hope for the future of theatre. I've been talking with a few friends recently, and I'm trying to make myself more aware of the lack of disability in the theatre world. You know, there's not as many disabled actors being put in roles as there should be. I feel quite ignorant not being a part of these conversations, and so I'm trying to make an effort to be part of those conversations more, and also to start them, you know? I wanted to talk about Beth specifically because I feel like she is a perfect example of why production companies exactly should cast disabled peoples in roles, because she was genuinely a standout of the show for me, and that's not because she was disabled, but because of how she was performing in the show. There's no excuse not to cast disabled people if you can. So yeah, I want to be part of those conversations more. I don't want to be ignorant to them, and if I can help in any way, I'm not saying that I'm like an important person at all, but you know, I feel like the more people that are talking about it, the more that will be done about it, because I feel like it's a change that does need to be made in the industry. So as I say, I hope I've not offended anyone. If I have, then I'm sorry. I'm not meaning to offend anyone. And if I have said anything that I shouldn't have said, then please educate me about it in the comments, because that is the key to everything, isn't it? You've just got to keep on educating yourself and keep growing as a person, because otherwise, I don't know, what's the point? While Beth was a standout in the show for me, I have to say as well that Dura Cowley, I hope I'm saying his name right, I'm really paranoid that I'm not. He played the role of Melchior, and this is his professional debut, and I'm honestly blown away, because you wouldn't have thought that it's his professional debut. The character goes through a lot, and it's a lot of heavy stuff to portray, so to see it done so well, it was just amazing. And it's amazing as well to see people like him at the start of his career and just wondering like, wow, they're gonna go places, they're gonna go far. It's just really exciting to watch. Something else that I really loved about this show was the choreography that they had, because the Hope Mill Theatre is quite a small space, as I've mentioned, and it was a fairly big cast for a space like this, but the way that they've staged everything and used the sets and the choreography, it made it seem so much bigger without kind of feeling like it was bursting at the seams. Like, it fit the space perfectly, but it made you forget that the space was as small as it was, if that makes sense. There was so much energy and so much power in it, and it was just like a triumph to watch. And this is the thing I love, because it feels like with the Hope Mill Theatre, it's just getting stronger and stronger and better and better. And I mean, I think they're genuinely going to have to move to a new space soon, because they're gonna need a bigger space for the trajectory that they're following. And it's a pleasure to watch and to see a regional small theatre succeeding so well and making such a name for itself, and it just makes me very happy. I am so glad that I managed to see Spring Awakening at the Hope Mill Theatre. It may not be my favourite show in terms of the story, but I think the way they've put it on, the production as a whole, is just incredible, and there's still a little bit of time to see it, so I'd recommend trying to catch it there if you can. If you've been to see Spring Awakening at the Hope Mill Theatre, or if you've been to see a show there before, I would love to know about your experiences, so please do let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of me in the future. I make a lot of theatre content, so if that's something you enjoy, then hopefully you'll enjoy my channel. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!